Introduction. Many of us watched Titanic in theaters, and some people watched it many times, as it was a box office hit and a memorable love story. So I apologize in advance for chopping it up, but for the sake of sharing my recovery story and describing what it's like being in a relationship with a narcissist, it ironically helped me discover a better understanding of my situation and what I needed to do about it. All rights reserved, and I do not claim any copyrights to this movie, Titanic, or its affiliations. Illusion. The Titanic hit the iceberg not because they could not see it coming, but because they could not change the direction. John C. Maxwell. I finished watching the movie and realized the ship was sorta a metaphor for this type of relationship in my life that I could grab onto. And my story would become a narrative that would somehow shadow Rose's character. I had an epiphany that I could finally explain what it's like being in a relationship with a narcissistic man. It turns out that Jack and Cal is the perfect analogy of what a narcissistic man is like. Let me explain. When you first meet this type of man, it's like falling in love with a Jack. He's lovely, his smile reassuring. He's hypnotized by your beauty and hangs on to your every word. He showers you with an abundance of love. He's charming, romantic, courageous, fun, a drifter and a gambler that likes to live life on the edge. On the other hand, later you start to see Cal. He is selfish, superior, impatient, egotistic, jealous, resentful, controlling, and often seen as the victim. His anger is explosive. His weapons are dismissiveness and silence for punishment. His comments hurtful, his ego boastful, his pride enormous. After Jack died, all that was left was Cal. This is when I had an epiphany that the illusion of my own Jack returning would only perpetuate a vicious cycle, trapping me in a toxic bond of abuse. Being with a narcissistic man is like being in a love triangle with both a Jack and Cal, but as one man. But eventually, Jack dies. It was a ship of dreams, but to me, it was taking me back in chains. Inside, I was screaming. Rose DeWitt Bukater, Titanic. Jack is dead. Overcoming the Narcissistic Discard by Marley. Narrated by Katie Booth. Preface. This is my story of how I fell into the treacherous waters of this particular kind of love. The kind of love that forever changed me. It's a love that gave me an unexpected blow to my gut. An unexpected strike that left me reeling. A love that serves as a harsh teacher, that even the strongest people can fall. It's important to acknowledge that men also find themselves entangled in these types of relationships, as narcissism can affect anyone. However, this book is written for women, as it shares the author's story. Most of us are acquainted with the dizzying carousel of narcissism. It comprises 4 distinct stages: idealization, devaluation, discard, and the Hoover, all of which contribute to the creation of a trauma bond and a consistent pattern. This pattern often gets repeated. Narcissistic love is confusing, and it could take a lifetime, as we may never completely understand it. It's not uncommon for people to say, "It takes 2 to tango." I get it. As a marriage and family therapist, I was trained in family systems work. That is, to focus less on one person and diagnosing, but rather on the way the system is functioning. Even in these relationships, there is some truth to that. However, it's much easier to carry a heavy couch with 2 people than all by yourself. Individual psychology does matter in relationships. I realized during my healing journey, I am actually the perfect target for a narcissist. I have a childhood of familiarity. I'm empathetic, loyal,